This is going to be an absolutely massive week of Pokemon Go. On top of us getting an Ultra Unlock event, which is going to feature a bonus that you do not want to miss out on, we are also going to be seeing the debut of Solgaleo in raid battles. This is a Pokemon that is going to be a game changer for most players, and I'll talk about why a little bit later. But yeah, I do think there's a lot of things you will want to pay attention to when it comes to this week in Pokemon Go. So let's talk about all of it. Alright, what's happening y'all? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So this week is going to be a packed week in Pokemon Go. We're going to be getting ourselves an Ultra Unlock event, which is going to have a bonus which you do not want to miss out on. It's also going to include some fresh Pokemon, as well as some shinies that I do think people will care about. And then on top of that, we are going to be seeing Solgaleo in raid battles for the very first time. Of course, this Pokemon was only available beforehand by evolving a Cosmog, which you could only get from a special research, so a lot of players were hoping that one day this Pokemon would make its way to raids. And it looks like that day has come, because this week we're going to have this Pokemon in raid battles. That means you're going to be able to get yourself multiples of Duskmane Necrozma if you have the fusion energy, and then on top of that, Solgaleo itself is also a very powerful Pokemon, so if you're lucky, you might get yourself a 100% IV of this Pokemon and start dominating the Master League. Overall, I think this week is going to be a pretty good week, and I really want to talk about all of the stuff, but first, let's go over the Ultra Unlock event, because like I said, there is a particular bonus with this event that you will definitely want to utilize. The Ultra Unlock Hisui celebration is going to start on Tuesday, July 8 at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go until Sunday, July 13 at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. This event is going to see the debut of a brand new Pokemon, which is going to be Hisuian Zorua, as well as its evolution Hisuian Zorurak. They are also saying that we're going to see Ultra Beasts during this event. Space-time anomalies are going to be returning, which indicates that we're either going to be getting Ultra Beasts, or this is just them teasing the release of Solgaleo and Lunala in raids, but yeah, we could talk more about that later. Next, let's go over the event bonuses, because my goodness, these are some phenomenal bonuses that you should not ignore. First and foremost, you're going to get 4 times the amount of experience for catching Pokemon, and 4 times the amount of Stardust for catching Pokemon. Let me say that again. You're going to get 4 times the amount of experience and 4 times the amount of Stardust for every Pokemon you catch. Do not ignore that. That is one of the best bonuses we can get, even better than what we typically would get, which is about a 3 times bonus. So 4 times the amount of experience and 4 times the amount of Stardust for catching Pokemon. Definitely go all out during this event. Also, they're going to be increasing the chance to encounter shiny Hisuian Voltorb and shiny Hisuian Qwilfish, and you're also going to be getting an increased chance to encounter shiny Unknown U from raids. There's also going to be a collection challenge that'll be available, and it's going to be themed around space-time anomalies. Once again, it seems like they're hinting at Ultra Beasts of some kind. Now, the following Pokemon are going to be the wild encounters during this event. You're going to see Zubat, Hisuian Voltorb, Magikarp, Hisuian Qwilfish, Starly, Krogunk, Petalil, the new Hisuian Zorua, Rufflet, and Bergmite, and then as an uncommon spawn, you will see Sneasel, Larvitar, and Bagon. And then the following Pokemon are going to be appearing in raid battles. In 1-star raids, you're going to see Hisuian Growlithe, Unknown U, and Hisuian Sneasel. And then in 3-star raids, we're going to have Hisuian Braviary, Hisuian Avalog, Wordeer, and Kleavor. We are, of course, also going to be getting event-themed field research tasks that's going to award you with experience, Stardust, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. There will also be a collection challenge that will award you with Hisuian Zorua, so this could be a way for you to pick up a high IV of this brand new Pokemon. So yeah, pretty insane. 4 times Stardust per catch. That is one of those bonuses that does not come around often, and it's something that will allow you to get a whole bunch of Stardust. I know a lot of players out there probably are starved for Stardust, especially after Pokemon Go Fest. This is going to be a really great opportunity for you to restock. And then on top of this event, we are also going to be getting a raid day this week, and this time it's going to be featuring the brand new Pokemon Hisuian Lilligant, and its shiny form is also going to be making its debut as well. Let's go over the details for this event, and then afterwards I'll talk about some other things you will want to pay attention to during this week. Hisuian Lilligant Raid Day is going to be happening on July 12th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon is of course going to be Hisuian Lilligant, and yes, its shiny form is also going to be available as well. Now, we're going to see the following event bonuses during this raid day. You're going to get 5 additional raid passes when you spin gym photo discs. This will give you up to 6 total free raid passes. So, you do not necessarily have to use these on Hisuian Lilligant. Maybe you could use all 6 of your free raid passes early on, but yeah, I do think it's nice that they're giving you 5 additional free raid passes on this day. Now, you're also going to get a chance at getting shiny Hisuian Lilligant, and it's going to have an increased chance during this raid day. I believe the raid day shiny rates are about 1 in 10, which means if you do about 10 raids, you're going to have a really high chance of at least getting at least 1 shiny Hisuian Lilligant. And also typical with these sort of raid days, the remote raid pass limit is going to be increased to 20, and this is going to be effective pretty much the entire day. Now, there's of course going to be a paid event ticket, which you could purchase in the web store or the Pokeshop, and this will give you 8 additional free raid passes from spinning gym photo discs for a total of 14, and you're also going to get an increased chance to get Rare Candy XL from raid battles, and you're also going to get 50% more experience when you complete raids, and then also double the amount of Stardust as well. Personally, depending on the cost, I always feel like these raid day tickets are worth it, but it's really dependent on how much you plan to raid. If you do not plan to do at least 14 raids, then yeah, you probably shouldn't buy this ticket, but this ticket's value actually increases the more raids you do. So if you have a whole bunch of premium raid passes that you could burn on this particular raid day, then you're going to end up with more Rare Candy XL, more experience, and more Stardust, and the event ticket is going to increase in value. So I do not suggest buying this ticket if you're just going to complete the 14 raids that you get. I do think you should plan to get this ticket, especially if you're going to do maybe 50 plus raids. That's probably going to give you a lot more value. You're essentially paying money not just for those free raid passes, but specifically for the Rare Candy XL. That's the consensus that I get from a lot of players who do buy these tickets regularly. They're specifically looking for Rare Candy XL, and they usually end up with quite a lot. So if that is a particular resource that you are looking for and you do plan to raid a lot, then I do suggest you go and buy this ticket. Otherwise, it's not necessarily going to be worth it, especially if you just want 1 or 2 of these during the day. Alright, now let's talk about the weekly content you will want to pay attention to, starting with tonight's Max Monday. We're going to have a Max Monday tonight featuring Dynamax Ghastly, and it's going to be in max battles from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time. Something you need to keep in mind is that these Dynamax Ghastlys are not going to evolve into a Gigantamax Gengar. That's something that you can only get separately. But if you want to get yourself some Dynamax Ghastlys, they're going to be spawning in max battles starting tonight. And then for tomorrow, with Spotlight Hour, we're going to have one with Voltorb and Hisuian Voltorb, and there's going to be a 2x catch experience bonus. And then for this Wednesday's Raid Hour, we're going to have one featuring Solgaleo. Considering that this Pokemon is going to be in raid battles starting tomorrow, you do not want to miss out on this Raid Hour. It's definitely going to be a chance for you to get a whole bunch of Solgaleos along with Solgaleo candy. Now, spawning in Mega Evolution raids during this week, we are going to have Mega Charizard X, which is a very powerful Mega Evolution, and then we're going to have Shadow Registeel on 5-star Shadow Legendary raids on the weekend. It's a pretty decent Shadow Legendary, I will say, but it's not necessarily going to be a high priority Pokemon, but if you want to get yourself a shiny Shadow Registeel, then definitely go and do one of these on the weekend. You might get lucky and pick yourself a shiny Shadow Registeel. And then finally, let's go over what's going to be happening within the Go Battle League. Until this Tuesday, July 8th, we're going to continue to have the Great League along with the Element Cup Little Edition, and then afterwards we're going to have the Open Ultra League along with the Hisui Cup Great League Edition. The Ultra League tends to be one of the more difficult leagues, considering that you do not often get the right Pokemon for this particular league, so if you have a really good Hisui Cup team, then this will be the week to do battles in that cup. Overall, I will say that this is going to be a pretty down week when it comes to PvP battles, but it's likely going to get really competitive within the Hisui Cup. But if you happen to have yourself a really solid Ultra League team, then you might be able to farm up some easy wins. So yeah, overall, this is a stacked week. I really like the fact that Solgaleo is going to be in raid battles. It feels like it's been a very long time since we've had a raid boss that I was actually excited about, and Solgaleo definitely fits the bill. Even if I do not get myself a 100% IV, I do plan to get myself a whole bunch of Solgaleos, specifically because I want to get a bunch of Dawn Wings Necrozma, or I should say Duskmane Necrozma. Dawn Wings is going to be coming a little later, because of course we are going to be getting Lunala later on this month, but for this week it's going to be Solgaleo. And I'm really excited about that. And then on top of that, of course, the 4x Stardust bonus from the Ultra Unlock event. That is absolutely insane. I, for one, need a whole bunch of Stardust because I recently just spent it all just maxing out a whole bunch of Zacians and Zamazentas. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to that. This is going to be a packed week and I'm really excited about it. And I do hope that for a majority of players, they're going to end up getting something really good. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that's going to be happening this week down below in the comments. Is there something in particular that you are looking forward to? Do you feel like this is going to be one of the better weeks of Pokemon Go? Definitely share your thoughts in the comments and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. If you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen like Instagram, Threads, and X. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. You'll have access to some exclusive content and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.